Welcome everyone. This is the Indian Express of 20th September 2022 and I will explain this newspaper in 3 steps. First is why is the news, second is what is the news, and third is what can we expect in the future about the topic that is given in the news. So we will start with the first news, which is from 60% in UPA to 95% in NDA, a surge in share of opposition leaders in CPI net. So what exactly is the number? You see how numbers stack up. NDA second 2014 to present. You see in red box, these are the number of opposition leaders that were under probe of CBI. 118 under NDA second and 43 opposition leaders under UPA first and UPA second from 2004 to 2015. You see that, and then comes the number below, 6 from the BJP and 29 from the Congress and Allied. So this is the number of times opposition investigated. Now there is more of political news, but I will just explain a little bit. Misuse of CBI and ED. Don't think PM behind it. BJP leaders are, says Mamata Banerjee, who is the Chief Minister of West Bengal. She said that Prime Minister Modi is not doing all this. CBI and ED are not under him. All are under the Home Ministry. All is being done by the BJP leaders. Who exactly she is pointing to? Home Ministry. Amit Shah, who is the Minister of this Home Ministry. She is pointing to this person. Now there is more of political news in this page. You see. So now next come the city page. There is also more of political news. All headings are related to politics. This is also more of political news. Now next come ban on hijab law. So there was more hearing on that. We are continuously following this Supreme Court appeal towards the ban. Ban part of pattern to marginalize minorities, Supreme Court told. So what exactly is the statement? Muslim appellants who have challenged the Karnataka hijab ban told Supreme Court on Monday that the directive against wearing the apparel in school is part of pattern to marginalize minority communities, to sideline those communities. So these appellants told Supreme Court that in order to make them marginalized or make them sideline in the society, this ban has been made. This is not about uniform. By series of acts of commission and acts of omission that have happened, unfortunately, I am not blaming any individual or anything, but these acts of commission and omission show that there is a pattern to marginalize the minority communities, and part of this pattern is this directive. This was a statement that was called by Dushyant Dev. He said that there are not just one act but a series of acts that are done in order to marginalize these communities. He is representing some of the appellants, told a bench of justices Hemant Gupta and Sudhanshu Dhulia. Now Dev referred to controversies such as love jihad and said that this has to be considered in the light of the kind of atmosphere that we are seeing today, which are going far from being liberals that we have been for 5,000 years. So now he's talking about other things too, that there is a trial to make Muslims or such communities a marginalized community. And one such example is controversies of love jihad. He said that Karnataka government circular says that we are trying to bring unity in the country, and asked, you want unity, then how is that You are prohibiting a Hindu girl from marrying a Muslim boy. They have fallen in love. So now he is asking question that Karnataka government said, always used to say that we are trying to bring unity. Then how exactly you do not allow a Hindu girl from marrying a Muslim boy when they are in love? Dave asked, you have to today ask permission from district magistrate. He takes his own sweet time calling families to find out. Everybody puts pressure on family, don't marry. All kinds of fringe element will come into play. He asked, is this the democracy our forefathers fought for? So now he's calling that in order to do that marriage, you have to go to district magistrate. He calls off. Also, he finds families. Everybody puts pressure on those two people and also the family. Now he asked that, is that democracy? Is this a democracy that our freedom fighters fought for? Is this the constitution that they want to make? They said what was done is malice in law. You are passing this resolution ostensibly saying uniform. Actually, it's for some other purpose. He's taking a macro view of all this issue. The whole idea is that how do I tell the minority community that you are not allowed to profess your beliefs? You're not allowed to follow your conscience. You will do what I tell you to do. So now he's taking a more critical approach and talking that how can I tell the minority community that do what I want to do, that I want you to do. So it is about not keeping your choices in your actions. Dave said that just like turbans for Sikh, hijab is important for Muslim women. Nothing wrong with that. It is their faith. Somebody wants to wear tilak, somebody wants to wear a cross. Everybody has the right. That is the beauty of social life. He asked if wearing of hijab threatens the unity and integrity of India. Justice responded, nobody is saying that. Even the High Court judgment does not say that. Dave said the Bar Council of India prescribes a dress code for lawyers and asked if the court will stop a lawyer. He comes wearing a cap. So there is a dress code for lawyers. And what if the lawyer just wear a cap over that? Will you stop that, judge? He asked. Justice Gupta pointed that it was a tradition to cover the head whenever one goes to respectful places. Dave replied, the classroom is a respectful place. Look at our Prime Minister. How beautifully he wears turban on important days. It is a way to respect the people. So there is nothing to explain. You can just read it out. It is already given in a very easy language and lucid manner. Quoting from the speeches of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel as chairman of minority community, when he was a chairman of minority community, what does he said? He said, nothing is better than to minority to place a sense of confidence in majority. Nothing is better than to minority to place a sense of confidence in majority and also on the majority to think who we feel if we are treated like them. So that means, so nothing can be better to a minority to place a sense of confidence in majority. That means if minority can feel like a majority and also if majority can think like what they can feel if they were a minority. If this is something that is present in our country, he is talking that nothing will be better than that. So these arguments remain inconclusive and will continue on Tuesday. So today this argument was more about a macro view of this hijab ban, and many elements were put. In fact, love jihad and also democracy, all of that were called into action. This is now explain page. we see there's the first topic, SC quota for Dalit Muslims and Christian story so far. So this we have seen last day, that there is a committee that has been set up in order to find out that what is the social situation and structure of those Dalit that have converted into Muslims, and will the reservation of SC will be given to these converts who have converted to Muslims and Christian religions so far. So now there is explained news about this. What is that? Why is that? And also some other aspects will be explained. Center is likely to soon decide on setting up a national commission to study the social, economic and educational status of Dalit who converted to religions other than Hinduism and Sikhism. So this was the news that came tomorrow. If you came yesterday, if you haven't seen, then I will tell you that Center is planning to set up a commission to study about those who have converted to Christianity or Islam and whether they should get reservations benefit or not. So several petitions are pending before the Supreme Court seeking scheduled caste reservation benefits for Dalit who converted to Christianity or Islam. So why don't Dalit who converted to Christianity and Islam get quota benefits? Because there is an article which is Article 341. So first I will explain this. Original rationale behind giving reservation to scheduled caste was that these sections have suffered from social evil of untouchability, which was practiced among Hindus. So all of us know that reservations are to make their social life enhanced and to make them participate in the normal social life. In fact, all the evils that were done to these people in the past will have to be corrected, and they should be given opportunity to make their life better. Under Article 341 of the Constitution, the President may specify the caste, races or tribes or part of a group within caste, races or tribes which shall be deemed to be scheduled caste. So this is decided by President. So you see, he can specify. Now, till now, only Hindus, Sikhs and Buddhists, three are the religions that have been specified, and Christians and Muslims are not yet specified. The first order under this provision was issued in 1950. And okay, so this you should know that there was 3 steps. Not at once it was decided that Buddhists and Sikhs will be considered. There was a year-on-year basis recommendation. So first 1950 it covered only Hindus. So only scheduled caste from Hindus will be covered for reservation. Now following demands from the Sikh community, an order was issued in 1956 that included Sikhs of Dalit origin among the beneficiaries of SC quota. Then comes 1990, government acceded to similar demands from Buddhists of Dalit origin. An order was revised to state. So this was the new order, and statement is with us: no person who professes a religion different from Hindu, the Sikh or the Buddhist religion shall be deemed to be a member of scheduled caste. So you see, 3 religions are only included. Does this religion based bar apply to converted SCs and OBCs as well? This is about STs, not SCs, so you should make that clear. Does this apply to converted SCs and OBCs as well? It does not. So STs and OBCs who have converted are not taken into account in their respective laws. The Department of Personnel and Training website states the right of a person belonging to scheduled tribes are independent of his or her religious faith. And also following the implementation of Mandal Commission report, several Christians and Muslim communities have found place in the center and state list of OBCs. So in OBCs and STs there is no such thing as religion. It is irrespective of this religion. Only SCs are included in terms of religion. Now what are the efforts? What efforts have been made to include Muslims and Christians of Dalit origin among these scheduled caste? After 1990, a number of private member bills were brought in parliament for this purpose. 1996, there was also a government bill that was called the Constitution Scheduled Caste Orders Amendment Bill was drafted. So this was passed in 1950, and now amendment was asked to be done, but in the view of divergence of opinion, bill was not introduced in parliament. You see, because of divergence of opinions. Now what about in 2004? UPA government headed by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh set up two important panels. First was National Commission for Religious and Linguistic Minorities. This was the first commission. It was popularly known as Rangnath Mishra Commission in October 2004. This was in 2004. First commission was set up, and then second, a 7-member high-level committee was headed by former Chief Justice of Delhi High Court Rajinder Shachar to study the social, economic and educational conditions of Muslims in March 2005. So this was constituted. Two committees were constituted. Now what were the reports? What did they find? Shachar committee report observed that social and economic situation of Dalit Muslims and Dalit Christians did not improve after conversion. This was the report founded by Shachar Commission. What Rangnath Mishra Commission founded? This report they submitted in 2007, and it recommended that SC status should be completely delinked from religion and scheduled caste should be made fully religion neutral like scheduled tribes. This was a recommendation. So first committee recommended that social, economic and other conditions were not improved after conversion. Second committee recommended that it should be made religion neutral, just like scheduled tribes are. Report was tabled in both houses of parliament 2009, but its recommendations were not accepted. Both recommendations were not accepted. And why exactly? Because it was called that there was inadequate field data and also corroboration with actual situation on the ground. So this was called that the survey or other things were not done in a proper manner. Now a report by a team of sociologists led by Satish Deshpande that was titled Dalits in Muslim and Christian Community, a status report on current social scientific knowledge. This was a report that was made by a team of sociologists. They said in January 2008 that there was a strong case for extending SC status to Dalit Christians and Dalit Muslims. However, the study, which was commissioned by National Commission for Minorities, was also not considerably reliable due to insufficient data. So all of these recommendations were not accepted, either due to insufficient data or due to inadequate survey. What view did the BJP take before it came to power? In February 2010, BJP National Executive passed a resolution that criticized the Mishra Commission. It said that Commission cannot dictate or thrust its opinion on Christian Pope or Muslim Maulvis. Reservation would amount to a formal introduction of caste system in Islam and Christianity, thus changing the basic tenets of these religion. What does that mean? It means that they criticized Mishra Commission. They say that if such things are introduced, such reservations are introduced, then Islam and Christian religion will also become caste system based religions, and that can change the basic fabric or you can call the basic structure of these religions, which is outside the jurisdiction of both parliament and also judiciary, and also contrary to the provisions of Quran and Bible. So this means that you cannot introduce caste system into a religion. Back in 1961, ABPS, Akhil Bharati Prathinidhi Sabha, the highest decision-making body of RSS, has said if any scheme of separate reservation of different sects is sought to be envisaged for political purposes, it will prove highly detrimental to national unity. They said if reservation is given just for taking votes, just for making those religions into the vote bank, it can prove highly detrimental to national unity. This was called by ABPS. In 1990, in response to Christian demands for reservation on the lines of Neo-Buddhist, what did the ABPS said again? It said that constitution makers envisaged these concessions only to remove caste-based discrimination and only to remove this inequality prevalent in Hindu society, not to give benefit to them. So they are talking that this reservation was made only to enhance the status, only to remove this discrimination, caste, which is caste based, and also inequality. Now what can we expect in the future? What happens here onward? Based on the recommendations of the Rangnath Mishra Commission, there are some petitions that are pending before Supreme Court seeking reservation benefits for Christians and Muslims of Dalit origin. Last hearing was done on 30th August. 3 judges were present. Who exactly? Sanjay Kishan Kaul. 3 judges were present and the head was Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul. Now he have given a task to Solicitor General of India Tushar Mehta with a time period of 3 weeks to present the stand of Union government on the issue. So this task is given to find out what is the stand of Union government on this issue. Find out. And the next hearing is scheduled for October 11. So you see, this is the future. I do not have to explain much. Solicitor General will find out by October 11 what is the take of government, and then the news will come and then I will explain it. Now what exactly is the CBI's uneasy history? We have seen this in the first page that opposition leaders are particularly, you can call, attacked. So why is there such a pattern of arrest? So multiple allegations are put on this CBI and we will find out what exactly is the situation and what are the allegations. So first come, SC has called it a caged parrot. You see, Supreme Court called CBI caged parrot and Chief Justices of India have expressed doubts over its credibility and said it is no longer trusted. You see, CBI was once, and in fact even now for some people, it's the highest authority that can check out a case or matter. Even you see, when a case is not solved and it is felt that it can be made a biased case, then also people ask for the CBI, that it must be investigated by CBI. What if Supreme Court called it caged parrot? What about the citizens who trust it a lot? Now next come, the attempts to secure its independence have been opposed or overturned by successive governments. Now there were attempts to make it an independent, but the presiding government, you can call ruling government, opposed it. In May 2013, as multiple corruption scandals dogged the UPA government, Supreme Court made an observation about Central Bureau of Investigation that had stuck to the agency ever since. The bench was headed by Justice R.M. Lotha and he described this CBI as a caged parrot, speaking in its master's voice. Who is the master? Ruling party. It speaks what ruling party tells it to speak. This was called by Supreme Court. Observation was made in the context of government interference in the functioning of the CBI in its investigation of coal block allocation case. When exactly Supreme Court called this? When the CBI was doing investigation of coal blocks allocation case, this observation was found. Apex court, apex means highest. So this apex court means Supreme Court has since criticized the CBI for its actions and inactions on several occasions. So actions when it comes to opposition and inactions when ruling party is in crisis, and flagged fundamental problems with the functioning of the agency. Now there are doubts over credibility. How can we trust the CBI? There are doubts. Delivering on D.P. Kohli memorial lecture at the CBI on April 1st this year, the then Chief Justice of India N.V. Raman lamented that the agency has gone from being the people's most trusted to the subject of people's deep public scrutiny. So I call that people seriously trusted the CBI a lot, but now it is in the radar of people's scrutiny. When it comes to CBI, it possessed immense trust of the public in its initial phase, but with the passage of time, like every other institution of repute, CBI has also come under deep public scrutiny. Its actions and inactions have raised questions regarding its credibility in some cases. This was a statement. 2019, when CJI was Ranjan Gogoi, he also questioned the role of CBI in politically sensitive cases and said that it reflected a deep mismatch between institutional aspirations and governing politics. So he say that what the institution aspired to do, what the CBI was meant to do, and what it is doing, there's a deep mismatch. Actions and rule books speak two different languages. Justice Gogoi was nominated to Rajya Sabha soon after he demitted office as a CJI. Now there were struggles to fix processes. There was not such thing that there was no reforms or such thing was done. There were, in fact, the struggle to free elite law enforcement agencies such as CBI and ED from the stranglehold of government and political parties has been ongoing since 1990s. To release them from this stranglehold of government and political parties, it was in fact ongoing since the 1990s. The landmark 1997 Vineet Narayan judgment of Supreme Court, Vineet Narayan and others versus Union of India, dealt with this issue in detail. Supreme Court fixed the tenure of CBI director at 2 years. Also gave statutory status to Central Vigilance Commission and stipulated that the panel headed by CVC and including top secretaries to union government would draw up a panel from which director of ED would be selected. So what did he make? 2 years, just 2 years for CBI director. And also the director of ED would be selected from top secretaries. Lokpal Act 2013 laid down that the CBI director should be chosen unanimously by majority vote by a search committee headed by Prime Minister and also comprising the leader of opposition and the CGI or his representative from a list of candidates drawn up by the Home Ministry and examined by the Department of Personnel and Training. What does that mean? This means that CBI director should be chosen by majority vote. from a list of candidates drawn up by Home Ministry and examined by Department of Personnel and Training. Despite these changes, very little has changed, said Vineet Narayan, who has long campaigned for the independence of two agencies. Supreme Court judgment and the Central Vigilance Commission Act of 2003 have been progressively diluted by various governments over the years. Advent of Lokpal diluted it even more. What is the current situation? Current situation is that these agencies, these central agencies such as CVC, Central Vigilance Commission, CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation and ED, Enforcement Directorate, have become completely defunct, which means that they are not doing the function they were projected to. Apart from following instructions from the government, they are doing nothing. And it is happening blatantly. Entire struggle for independence of CBI and ED is being defeated. How are these central agencies are structurally constrained? How does the structure of these agencies make them resistant or constrained to work independently? CBI has been stymied both by the legal structure within which it functions and by the changes that was made by the government in rules governing it. Over the years, these have progressively made agency subservient to union government. That means because of these changes, the agency have become loyal to the union government. To prosecute any MLA, any state minister or any MP, CBI needs sanctions from the Speaker of State Assembly. In the case of MLAs, if it wants to take action against MLA, it has to take sanction from the Speaker of State Assembly. If state ministers are in its radar, then it has to take permission from governor. If MP, then sanction is sought from the Speaker of Lok Sabha or Vice Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Since all these sanctioning authorities have links to ruling dispensation, opposition parties feel they are unfairly targeted. So you have to take permission from all these political structures. That is why opposition parties feel that they are unfairly targeted. In the Nalanda sting operation, the CBI charge sheeted Firhad Hakim, Subrit Mukherjee, Madan Mitra and Sovan Chatterjee, all ministers in the TMC, led West Bengal government at the time of offence after getting sanction from the governor. However, other MLAs and MPs have not been charge sheeted, including TMC turned BJP leader Suvendu Adhikari for lack of sanction from West Bengal Assembly Speaker and Lok Sabha Speaker Adhikari, Lok Sabha Speaker. Now this person who have turned into BJP leaders was an MP when the sting operation was conducted. So you see how this occurs. 2012, CBI sought sanctions to prosecute former Maharashtra Chief Minister Ashok Chavan in the Adarsh Cooperative Housing case, which was denied in 2013 by then Governor K. Shankar Narayan. So this case closed because it was denied by the governor. In February 2016, after the Narendra Modi government came to power, a new governor was appointed and then the sanction came through. Rajiv Gandhi government, through what is known as single directive, introduced a provision in the DSPE, Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946, from which CBI derives its power. It barred CBI from investigating officials of joint secretary level and above without permission from the government. You see how much it is strangled in the hands of government. It cannot investigate officials of joint secretary level and above without the permission from the government. This was struck down by Vineet Narayan but was reinforced by Atal Bihari Vajpayee government. It was struck down again by the Supreme Court in 2014, and then the Modi government introduced Section 17A into the Prevention of Corruption Act through an amendment. This amendment went far ahead of introducing single directive and barred CBI from probing any public servant without the consent of concerned government. You see, what was before? You cannot investigate officials of joint secretary level and above. And what now? You cannot investigate even a public servant without the consent of concerned government. This was the change. It is very clear that the agency has no freedom to probe anyone on its own. It's the government at the union or its state or the court which will decide who will be investigated, a CBI official said. This is the situation. Political tug of war. Now the work of the agency has been further constrained by the increasingly hostile relations between center and state government. If the center and state parties are different, there is a tussle between them. There are hostile relations between both these. As many as 9 states have withdrawn general consent to CBI. Most of these are opposition-ruled states which have alleged that CBI is being used by the center to target the opposition. March this year, Meghalaya, where BJP is in coalition government, withdraw general consent. Even Meghalaya, which is a BJP coalition party, also withdrew consent. Since CBI need consent of a state to probe offences in a state jurisdiction, a general consent is given to the agency so that consent is not required for every individual case. Withdrawal of consent means CBI cannot investigate even a central government employee stationed in a state without the consent of the state government. You see the power. Cannot investigate even a central government employee without the consent of state government. This is the structure of CBI which make it the way it is. However, this is not unique to NDA regime. Throughout the history of agencies, several states, Sikkim, Nagaland, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, have withdrawn general consent. 1998, when Janata Dal led government, which was led by J.H. Patel in Karnataka, they withdraw general consent, a decision that was not revoked by the S.M. Krishna's Congress government that came to power the following year. Dangling job carrots. Critics have also pointed to the way in which successive governments have used the lure of post-retirement jobs to make CBI directors toe their line. You see, former CBI officers are kept at work. See the example, former CBI Director Ashwini Kumar was appointed Governor of Nagaland by the UPA 2013. Other former CBI chiefs got post-retirement jobs as members of National Human Rights Commission under the UPA. NDA government last year amendment, that is State Police Act, to give CBI Director tenure of 5 years. So previously it was 2 years. It gave now 5 years, and also added a caveat that after completion of SC mandated 2-year tenure, director would get an extension of the tenure each year at the pleasure of government. This is a dangling a carrot before the director. You're making them work in this way so that they get job and tenure for more years. This is why such things occur. This is fault in the structure. Narayan says it is now for the judiciary to step in. Judiciary has to decide what it wants to do with the hopes of 135 crore Indians for transparency and probity in public life. Court must ensure that the Vineet Narayan judgment is implemented in letter and spirit. All the dilutions that have been brought in should be rectified, should be corrected. All the mistakes should be corrected. Any government which dangles carrot before judges in terms of post retirement appointment is damaging the institution. So, both of these, judges and then CBI officers, if any government is giving them carrots, is putting pressure to do the work they want to do in exchange of post retirement appointment, this thing is damaging the institution. Supreme Court judges also must refuse such offers in the interest of integrity of the institution. So this we see. Now we have learned why CBI acts this way. So next come the word news. This is the word bid farewell to Queen. You see, so okay, India related news is not that. So Biden says US forces will defend Taiwan against Chinese invasion. So this is a statement. Only statement is clear that if China invade Taiwan, that then US forces will defend. So another war coming in the future. Ukraine warns of nuclear terrorism after missile attack. Also this war is going on, and such nuclear terrorism is going on. Indian High Commissioner condemns violence in UK's Leicester, seeks action. So there was a violence that was perpetrated against the Indian community in the English city of Leicester. So Indian High Commissioner have condemned that. I think only headlines was important here. Now comes the economy page. This is IBBI amends norm, maximum value of corporate and market linked solution. So I think this is more of private sector news because this is about corporate and market. We see efficient data usage by industry, cyber safety thrust areas in latest draft law. This is about data protection bill. So this news is important. The new draft of data protection bill, which is currently being worked on by Ministry of Electronics, will enable efficient usage of data with necessary safeguard since business in the country may use it. So this is being made for data protection bill, which is currently going on, and it will make sure that there is an efficient usage of data. Speaking at the International Technology Summit 2022 organized by CII, Additional Secretary at METI Rajen Kumar said the new draft is being worked on for data protection bill to augment efficient usage of data with confidence that data will be protected while allowing that data may be used by the industry. So this means that you save data in your computers and also use data, and we will make sure that this data is protected. They are saying this to industry. He added that digital makeover across the government, industries, MSMEs is at varied levels of maturity, with most MSME being behind in tech adoption. So because of these security threats, we see a lot of industries, MSMEs, they do not see forward to make their business a digitalized business. So now they're trying to say that as digital service penetrate rural areas, cyber related threats could increase. But this data protection bill will manage to seek solution for such threats and protection. Now you're saying that you see digital services are now going into rural areas and these threats are continuously increasing. The government has put in place the long-term vision and has proactive approach to deal with emerging tech and subsequent threat levels. So you see, this is very simple news that government is trying to make sure that you use your data, you use internet in efficient way, and we will manage the protection and safety of you. Last month, the center has withdrawn the previous data protection bill from parliament and said it would soon come out with a comprehensive legal framework for the online ecosystem. So last data protection bill was in fact withdrawn, and because of some problems in that, now new data protection bill will come for online ecosystem, which would include what? First, separate legislations for data privacy. So there will be separate rules and laws for data privacy, separate rules and laws for social media companies, then other rules for telecom sector, and further more different rules for non-personal data, among other things. In an interview to government-run Sunset TV, Union Communications and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, he said that drafting of this new data protection bill is nearly complete and it will be introduced in Parliament by next year's budget session. So what can we expect in the future? More security, more privacy, and more, you can say, freedom to use internet. This we are hoping that this data protection bill will come into that. Now there is about Oyo and Dish TV. This is more of private sector news. So this comes an end to the newspaper, and you can read this newspaper by yourself as well.